I'm Ash.
And I'm Fatima.
And this is
Fatash.
Fatash. And it's the last day of, for the fortunate ones, a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
I did absolutely
Or was
nothing.
it 5? Because like Wednesday was the 4th of July.
No, Thursday was the 4th of July.
Thursday was the 4th of July?
Yes, it was.
It was?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry for y'all.
I was one of the fortunate ones that did have the 4th and that following Friday off.
Mm-hmm.
If I was working in the right department, I would have had half a day off on Wednesday as well, but I don't work in that department. Like, the department I was working with, they emailed me saying like, yo, so we're probably gonna cut out early today. If you could just send us whatever prep we're gonna need, we'll handle it on Monday.
Okay.
So, cool, whatever. I mean, like I said, I ain't do shit all weekend. Well, that's a lie. I built a table.
A physical table?
Yeah, I got one of those tables for behind your couch.
Oh, those are cute.
I was like, why didn't I do this years ago? Fits perfectly. I really got it because I'm running out of space on my desk for my figurines.
Okay.
So this is perfect because my desk is right by my couch. So this table's perfect. It has outlets. So also, when I have to shift into using a laptop for work, but still using my 2 monitors, I can still have the laptop close by to connect to those 2 monitors and all that. So this works out. It's great. But that was my boring 4-day weekend of just adding more shelving to my small ass apartment. Got a manicure, pedicure in preparation for this upcoming weekend, and
Okay.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
We cooked.
Man, I wish.
We barbecued. We had a caramel cake. We had.
If your family don't do nothing else, y'all gonna eat.
Oh yeah.
I ain't even get invited for no damn cookouts. Like,
aww.
My aunt got a whole house. I don't know if she got a grill, but she ain't invite me for no food. And my one friend has a grill, but the way she was talking, it sounded like they ain't really have any food, so it sounds impolite to come over.
What if you brought something to grill? Like,
well, that was the thing. I was like asking to see, like, you know, what all might need to be supplemented.
Yeah.
You know, or like, because she was saying they were gonna grill like hot dogs and kebabs and burgers, and I don't really like hot dogs, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll bring bratwurst because I prefer bratwurst. And I'm like, so wait, do y'all have bread, buns, chips, condiments, anything? She's like, no, we're poor. I was like, okay.
Oh, okay.
I was like, that just sounds like y'all just got like a few pieces that really are only going to be enough for you and your roommate.
A lot of people are struggling right now.
Yeah, so and I was like, I don't want to come out and feel like I'm imposing. I was going to bring some drinks and all that, maybe some chips, but like it was giving. I want to invite people over, but we really don't have the means to it. But I like you to come over, and I was like, nah, y'all grill what you have. And save it for dinner the next day, because if there's one thing I love about a barbecue is all the leftovers you have the next day that you ain't gotta cook.
Yeah,
you know. But this is like this is her first time really having her own place, and so that is a different kind of dynamic when you have your own place and when you feel like inviting people over. Like, there's that sense of like, I want to invite people over immediately, but you really don't have the means to entertain folks.
Yeah,
you know. And I don't
also
every time like that.
Every time you move, there's unexpected expenses.
All the time. Her one roommate hasn't completely moved in yet because they're relying on other people to help her move, because she can't afford like a moving crew. So she's relying on, you know, her friends having availability, and we're all working adults, so our availabilities don't always align. So she hasn't been able to move in fully the way she wants to, just because, you know, had been no people there to help her move. And I'm like,
Right.
I'm a frugal bitch too. I sit there and wait for my brother to fly in from Baltimore before I move. I'm definitely recruiting all the men in the family next time I move, because when I was fortunate enough that when I first moved into my apartment, I didn't have shit. Everything got delivered via like Amazon and shit, or I had a friend who had a truck, or you know, the mattress delivery people brought it over, kind of thing. But yeah, we struggling. It's hard. It's like I ain't even want to celebrate 4th of July. What the fuck we celebrating? Why are we celebrating
Civil War. And we've talked about this. Our family.
I know. Black families celebrate not going to work. That's what we celebrate.
No,
4th of July.
No, Civil War. July 3rd was the turning point of the Civil War at Gettysburg.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, and it was announced and it was finalized on July 4th. So that's what our family thinks about, and that's why there's always like Gettysburg specials always running on the 4th of July. It's not just patriotic, it's the date. It commemorates the date. Okay. And so that's what we think about when we think about 4th of July over here. So
yeah, no, I just celebrate the fact that I just don't have to work. That's it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, 4th of July, we always have to have barbecue. Also, like we didn't set off any fireworks this year, but my mother, like we had my one of my aunts over, and uncle and cousins and all of that, and my uncle was telling a story about how my mother was not allowed to set off fireworks. They had like gendered celebrations for 4th of July, so only the boys. Yes, only the boys could get fireworks and girls got sparklers only. So when my mother grew up and she was making her own, and I was like, okay, so that makes sense, because I remember that every time we were headed on our way down to Mississippi, Mom insisted that we stop by Boomtown, USA, and buy like $500 worth of fireworks. Because
she held on to that. She said, I'm a grown woman. I do what the fuck I want now.
Yes.
And I'm blowing up half the backyard.
Yes. And I was never told that I couldn't set off fireworks.
I like your mom. She's a character. She's a character.
Definitely.
You can't tell her nothing. She'll act like she's going along with it, but let that woman have free reign. Get out of her way.
You'll have no choice. She's got the Boomtown behind her.
I'm going to Boomtown.
Yes. Also, I have finally gotten caught up on Hot D.
Woo! I love the nickname. I love the nickname for House of the Dragon being Hot D. Am I talking about porn? Or a George R. Martin show?
Yes. Well, when you watch it, will you be able to know the difference? Because there was fully someone being blown in the last episode that I
saw. Girl. I wasn't ready. I did not need to see that. Now,
you opened up the curtain and I was like, my parents are here.
I was telling one of my friends who does not watch, and I was like, can you imagine that chick's IMDb being like dick sucking brothel whore? Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't think I could put that on my. I don't think I could put that on my IMDb. And I definitely waited and watched the credits to see if they credited the people in the brothel. There was no one listed. But I don't know if I could. I couldn't. That
but like,
why?
I've never seen anything like that on anywhere, and I was like,
right?
You could put that on HBO, and Game of Thrones.
Why do we have to see her sucking dick?
We've seen them do the full frontal, the full backle bent over.
We've seen
an asshole. But I did not expect like a full on blowjob.
At this point, on Game of Thrones alone, across both franchises, I have seen frontal dick twice now, at least. Because like right after that scene, then we see Aemon, and I didn't need to see that either. Like, there are so many ways they could have done that scene, you know, as someone that works in post-production, I see multiple angles all the time. There's ways of editing around angles and shit. There were different ways to convey that without having to see that dick. Either dick. Like, the whole time I'm watching those scenes, I'm just thinking of, like, the alternate shots that could have been used. Like, they could have cut in close on the new night that they were trying to break in. Like focus on the shock of his face of seeing a sexual act and, like, leave it up to our imagination of what the fuck was he looking at.
But he wasn't really shocked, though. He wasn't shocked. This is the king. This is the horror king.
Well, no, the dude he was, like, dragging around the brothel.
Okay.
That's the one I'm saying. Focusing on him, being like, what am I looking at? And let us as the audience be like, yeah, what the fuck is he looking at that got his face looking like that? Meanwhile, I'm just concentrating on the fact that I'm like, I don't think she's sucking dick right. Like, I'm not a professional in any means about sucking dick. But even I was looking at it like, she looked like she's struggling. The technique seemed off. And I wasn't the only one who essentially said that. And I felt validated in my analysis. Because there was, like, another dude I watched that, like, breaks down these shows. And he was just like, yeah, sis needed help with that.
Well, okay. But, so I don't know. Because, like I said, both of my parents were in the room, and I was just hoping that they would keep they were, like, doing something else. I think Dad was, like, reading the paper and Mom was, like, talking about something else, and I was just hoping that neither one of them would realize what was on the screen at the time.
I'd hope so too. Did they notice?
I don't think they did. If they did, they didn't say anything. No, I don't have the kind of parents that wouldn't say something if they thought something.
My grandfather will make it a thing. He will draw attention to it. Like, it's already like if something like that comes up on screen, it's already awkwardly quiet in the room. But my grandfather was sitting to be like, "What's he doing there? What's he doing with his hands?" And I'm like, "Pop, stop, please." Nana is right there. Nana's already uncomfortable, and you over here adding commentary to the sex scenes. Please stop. But yeah, that was unnecessary. It's seared into my brain now. Oh God. But other than that episode was actually kind of lackluster, honestly.
Was it? I mean, okay, so let me see. I've been, like, watching them, like, piecemeal because, like, I think I've explained, like, the issue in my home is that I don't have a TV in my bedroom. I refuse to watch House of the Dragon on anything other than a big screen because I want to get the full effect with the dragons or whatever. I don't want to watch that on my iPad.
Yeah.
Let alone my phone. Like, they didn't put all that work into that show for me to watch it on, like,
absolutely not. Like, so, I have to watch it on my Mac, but I got, like, my Mac is pretty much the size of most, like, dorm televisions.
Anyway. Right. We've seen your setup. Yeah, I would watch it on yours. You have a proper setup, but, like, I have like a little laptop. So
all the money they spend on that goddamn show, and do you watch the breakdowns afterwards on YouTube of, like, how they built out the sets and set up?
No, scenes? I don't watch that. I watch other people's commentaries, and I have a couple of favorites.
You should watch HBO's behind the scenes documentary. They put it out after every episode on, like, how they've expanded the scenes, like the sets. They've expanded the sets out. They talk about how they do the dragon scenes. It's really cool to see where the money is going. They're spending the money well.
Okay.
Honestly. But
so
you're only watching, like, in piecemeals.
So things can get kind of jumbled. But what I remember from episode 1 was, okay, Rhaenyra just found out that her baby's dead.
Yeah.
But she kind of wasn't wanting to believe it until she saw some evidence for herself, and then she found, like, that dragon wing in his cloak, and then she was like, "Oh, okay,
I got my evidence. I want that nigga's head." Meeting adjourned.
She said she wanted Aemon.
Yup, specifically.
He said she wanted Aemon. Take no substitute. And Daemon goes and hires a rat catcher and one of the gold cloaks
Yeah.
to kill Aemon or
A son.
a son.
That nigga. Those first 2 episodes. So that episode and the following, Damon was on 10. Like when Rhaenys came back from her patrol and he come out talk about get back on the dragon. We going out. She's like, was that a command from the queen? The queen's gone right now. The queen needs to mourn. If you don't recall, Damon, you were married to my daughter who died, and I had to wait till I actually saw the body. Okay, so let the mother grieve. He's like, come back here. She's like, yeah, I would if you was the queen, nigga. Fuck out my face.
Okay, so that's what and then also what they call blood and cheese. That also happened during episode 1.
Yep.
And that was sad, especially because they included the sounds of taking that kid's head.
And from what I understand, it's a lot more subdued compared to what it was in the books.
Yeah, I understand that it's different in the books, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like...
But I'm deliberately not reading the books, because I read the books for Game of Thrones, and then... like the show is totally different, and so like I kind of like not knowing.
Yeah, the show is supposed to be what the actual events were, whereas the book is like told from like 3 different points of view, so it's like unreliable narratives. So
but also like it is gratifying from a Game of Thrones like perspective. I've read all of the A Song of Ice and Fire books, and like some theories about. So like, and they do make lots of references in those books to the Dance of the Dragons, and that's pretty much what this looks like it's leading up to. And so my eye is on the Maesters, because like there's a lot of people, if you read the books, there's a lot of characters who say that they don't trust the Maesters, and that the Maesters were the ones who are actually behind the dance. And so like with me keeping an eye on the Maesters, I am noticing that there's Maesters in every council.
As they should.
They're about the only people who can read. And both of them are like, yeah, go to war. Do it. Use your dragon.
Well, I feel like I can't remember. All I remember is Team Green's Maester is the black dude. And he seemed to be the one who was talking like a little sense. Like he's of the opinion that we need to fight, but he's trying to be a little more strategic than like what Aegon is trying to do. Like he's just like I'm killing. Like when they was trying to find the rat catchers, he just sat there and killed all the rat catchers. And when his grandfather came in,
he was so proud of himself.
What the fuck are you doing?
So proud of himself. Like
he's like, oh, I killed them. It's like. What? After everything we just did to try to get sympathy, you killed all the rat catchers and one guilty one.
I never thought that I would feel sorry for Otto Hightower, and yet I do, because
that scene was so good. The way he called his grandson trifling, like he had it with him. Cause then you got Kristen Cole's bitch ass over there talking about watch how you talk to the king. Like, nigga, I'm talking to my grandson, and my grandson's a fucking clown.
Surrounded by idiots.
Right, and then he's like, well, Kristen's made moves, and the way he slowly turned around, like, the fuck did Kristen do?
And then he was like, well, I sent the twins' brother.
I sent the twins' brother to act like his brother to kill my sister. And he's like, nigga, what kind of prank ass shit are you pulling? And I felt so bad for Eric, because this man had just worked a double shift. He just trying to eat his oatmeal, and here come this guilty conscience ridden ass Kristen Cole coming up to him talking about your cloak is a sign of your purity and it's dirty.
Trying to pull up on him about a cloak, but not actually about a
After
cloak.
You, sir, the pussy juice ain't even dry on your chin yet, and you in my face talking about purity? like the rest of like the rest of us don't know what you actually up to. Cause like at one point, even the other nights, they're like, "Ooh, let me get my shit and get out of this cafeteria because it's about to go down." I'm not about to be privy to this. So sad. That scene was so
I love
sad.
that because that's what it's like to be in corporate America. Like
Yeah, like he couldn't not do what he said to do.
the shit rolls downhill, and just because you know somebody is fucking somebody that they shouldn't doesn't mean that you should say anything.
Oh,
And
absolutely not. Like that was
and the thing-
definitely not in Eric's position to challenge that. But trust and believe, Laris knows. You know, Laris knows.
yes, he
Laris
does,
knew-
and he's going to use it.
He's
Like,
definitely using it. Laris knew from episode 1, talking about, yeah, I was trying to talk to you, but your lady said you were preoccupied, indisposed. Like, girl, you should have showed him them damn feet. Now he mad. I don't know what his ploy is quite yet. I thought he was making moves to be the hand. And I think
he might be.
I
He
think he
might
might-
be because
might-
he did put a bug in Eamon's ear. Like, oh, well, Otto was your father's hand. Like,
Yeah, and if nothing else, he by
and-
episode
and
3.
Sir Kristen is too dumb to outmaneuver.
Yeah,
that
like,
dude.
and right now, Laris is the master of whispers. So he's definitely upper ranked now. And yeah, Kristen's a fucking idiot. Like, he can't maneuver. He might be a strong warrior, but he's not a tactician. He's not a politician. So, you know, he talk about, oh, my next hand will be an iron fist. Sir! I do like how they made his hand of the king pendant. It's like a collar of hands around his neck, which is symbolic in itself, because that man is feeling choked with responsibility and guilt. Like that back and forth him and Allison.
When Otto Hightower like threw down the pin, I was like, do all the hands quit the same way?
Right. Well, yeah, there's never been a peaceful handoff off the hand. They always throwing that shit.
They always say, well, fine, fuck it then.
Shit. Otto was done. He was so done. He leaving the room. He talk about, you're dismissed. Nigga, I was already out the door.
All that maneuvering his whole life, like marrying your daughter to the old king and then the old king hunch all over her.
I mean, to Otto's credit, when it comes to political maneuvering, he did that.
He did that. He did all of that. And yet, you've put your grandson in the perfect position, but he still can't do shit with him because he's dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm about to say,
He is dumb, and he will go find somebody else dumb to go do some dumb shit with.
he was probably in a better sense of control when Viserys was just fucking his daughter. Because then he could tell his daughter, yo, tell the king to go do this. And then she can tell the king, and he listened to her. But y'all had to be greedy and put one of y'all niggas on the throne, where what you could have done is stayed in better terms with Rhaenyra. Like, you could have...
Yeah,
like,
but Rhaenyra was never going to let him be the hand. She
But
hated the motherfucker.
he wouldn't have let him been the hand, but Alicent would have still been in her good graces. So Otto...
No,
still,
there was too much bad blood because the cousins were fighting. The cousins were fighting. Somebody lost an eye.
No. The cousins were fighting because Otto was in their ear talking about, yeah, your sister is gonna be queen and she gonna kill y'all. If he had just sat the fuck back, like if he had just put the pieces in place of like, I'm gonna put my daughter in the king's chamber, have his kids and all that, and then
He wasn't gonna trust that. I mean, he's thinking about what he would do if he was in the same situation.
I know, I'm just saying, if he was maneuvering differently and was thinking more, because one of the common themes in the show is how they underestimate the power of women. They're like, oh, it's just a woman. She doesn't have as much authority as if it was a guy, just by virtue of he has a dick. But if they really invested in the power that a woman could wield, both in her, for the most part, being ignored by society, so she can slip in and hear certain conversations here and there, or just in their ability to seduce guys and get them to do things to their will. If Otto had used Alicent more in that way of being a mouthpiece for his ideas, then he could have been in the good favor of Allison. Like, at one point, Allison and Rhaenyra were back on the good foot a little bit, but Allison had been poisoned by her dad's notions of, we gotta put one of your sons on the throne, and there's gonna be war because Rhaenyra's not gonna let that happen. She gonna kill all the rest of y'all, and then she passes down that same mentality to Aegon, because at one point Aegon was like, yeah, my sister's gonna be queen, it's whatever. And she's like, no.
Yeah, he didn't care. He really didn't care.
He did not care, but she put the fear of God in him, talking about she gonna kill you. And he's like, huh? I just want to masturbate out my window. What are we talking about? But if they had been more diplomatic and just in the cut about things.
But again, also, like, would you ever trust Rhaenyra? I mean, Rhaenyra lies. She tells big, bold, fantastical lies. It looks like she killed her first husband. She didn't, but it sure in the fuck looks like it.
Well, that comes down to the relationship she would have had with Allison, because Allison and their friendship broke apart and wasn't as strong as it was.
It broke apart like repeatedly. First with Allison going and marrying her daddy, then with Allison wanting to be a tattletale and not respecting her because she was like, Rhaenyra a hoe. Look at them kids, and always she wanted to tell it. Like, these kids, these children are bastards. Look at them. Yeah. They don't look nothing like they daddy.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, if they
look like that fool over there, like
if their friendship was stronger,
then
I feel like Rhaenyra would have filled her in on more of the stuff. Like, yo, between me
I think it's funny that Allison is fucking him now.
Girl, always with the sloppy seconds. Always with the sloppy seconds. Kristen Cole is in the same goddamn position he was 20 years ago. You a side piece.
Sad. That's sad. But also, you took this vow of celibacy.
Fucking in her old bedroom on top of that. That is her old bedroom. You fucking her old jump off in her old bedroom. Shame. That's
funny.
Sad.
Oh, okay, but it is a little bit different because Allison is no longer married.
Yeah, she's not married.
She's not married. But
she's still partaking in breaking that man's oath, and she knows that.
Yeah.
That was the only thing.
But she's not. She never cheated on old man.
No, she didn't. As much as she wanted to. So, like, in that regard, like, if it had been anyone other than Kristen, I wouldn't even care.
It is him.
But it is him. If she was fucking anyone else that wasn't in the Kingsguard and had that damn, celibacy
vow. Yeah.
Vow. Yeah. If it was anyone who did not have that vow, I would be like, yeah, finally, Allison, get you some hot D on hot D. But it's someone who has a vow. It's your friend's ex jump off. It's just messy. Especially with
and you judged her so harshly for doing anything before marriage, for doing anything with him, for who she was fucking. And now
back in the day, when they were younger, there was a little more validity in that, just because like they both hadn't been fucking around yet. So again, she a grown woman right now. You can fuck on whoever you want. It just is hypocrisy of fucking a nigga who has a vow and he has a vow. That's the part for me. Cause she's all, oh, I gotta pray. Oh, I'm filled with sin. And even her dad's like, I don't fucking care. Go tell somebody
but
else.
But also, the vibe in the Red Keep is the same as it was when Rhaenyra is there. Everyone knows what Rhaenyra was doing. Everyone knows that those boys are bastards.
Yeah.
And nobody's saying anything because everybody's scared.
Everyone's scared, and it's like, what does that mean to the small folk? They ain't got shit to do with the price of tea in China.
Also, the fight with the twins. I was glad that the one that won killed himself because I didn't know which one was which. I couldn't believe him. It was just kind of like, are you the right one?
Yeah, I was following up until a point. And when he said my grace was when I was like, okay, that's our Eric. And then he killed himself. Like, if he hadn't killed himself, they would have had to, like, really, like, interrogate him to like, know for sure, yeah, this is our Eric.
Right.
But him killing his own brother, nah, he was not living with that.
Yeah.
That was so sad to me because it was like, even Rhaenyra
And
was
he
like,
and he couldn't say no. He couldn't say like, I don't want to do that.
right, he couldn't incapacitate him outside of killing him because what we gonna do? Keep him locked up the whole time? Which probably, if they could have, they probably would have. But when support came, it's like, which one's Eric? It's like, I don't know. But I do appreciate that they at least buried them together. Like, Rhaenyra's like, look, he was just doing his job. I get it. I get it. But at the same time, man, what we gonna do now? Y'all need to tighten up security. That's what you need to do. Y'all ain't got no passwords. Y'all still got open borders. People just showing up on the shores whenever.
Damon is up in Harrenhal tripping. I don't know what that vision means that he had. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Nigga thought he was gonna pull up and like really do something. These folks are like,
Yeah. Oh, like you conquered us.
It's like, I'm taking Harrenhal. It appears so.
They're like, it's yours. You got it. So,
Like, nigga, do you see this place? We can barely keep the lights on. It's yours, nigga.
didn't it burn? Didn't Laurie's like burn up his father and his brother up in there?
That's why the dude that's there now, his uncle's like, we don't give a fuck about no damn Laris Clubfoot. He not even a strong. He Laris Clubfoot. You don't find it suspicious that this damn fucking tower done burnt down again, and there hasn't been a fire here since
And
your
also-
great granddaddy burnt it down the first time.
Like, who the fuck was that? Who was just kind of like, you're gonna die up in here,
Oh,
and then just kept walking. I was like, you rude bitch. Like,
Her name was like some of the commentators said her name was like something River. She's like a bastard of the Riverlands.
Okay.
Can't remember. I think she might be the bastard daughter of Lara Strong's dad.
Okay.
But
little
yeah.
sister. Yeah.
Yeah, but she was, and her accent was just throwing everybody off. I'm like, what is this American accent? What is this? You're going to die here. Like, what?
So rude.
So fucking weird. She's a very weird
So rude, but
weird
Damon
bird.
ain't-
That one. Weird bird. That one.
rude, but it ain't no point in being nice to Damon anyway.
No.
So,
No. Yo, when on the episode after Blood and Cheese, when they found out the baby was killed, and Rhaenyra's just like, what? How could they think it was me? Who would have done such a thing?
well, she did just have a miscarriage that was all messed up.
Right, and then, but Rhaenys was sitting across the table staring at Amos, and he was not making eye contact. She was just looking at him like, I know this nigga did it. And he like slowly kind of cut his eye at her.
Yeah.
And then Rhaenyra looked over at Aemon, and he slowly cut his eye at her. She's like, this.
And then they went to the next scene, like, oh, I can't believe you did that shit.
He's like, I didn't tell them explicitly to kill a baby. What did you say then? I ain't say that. But what did you say? I didn't say that. It's not my fault. This nigga. Oh my god. Oh my god. Talk about a son for a son. Because who else are they gonna kill, Damon? What other sons are in there? There's just that one. Their other son is in the High Tower. Or in Highland, wherever the fuck it is. The
Yes.
other
And
son.
also, now Aemon is in Aegon is in the exact same position that his daddy was, because he doesn't have an heir besides his girl.
Mm-hmm. Or his
And or his
brother.
brother.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother looks like he'd be a better ruler.
Oh, his brother would definitely be a better warrior. Like, he over here talking about, I'm going to battle too. I'm as fierce as any of them. And everybody's just like, let me sip my wine.
Please don't.
Let me sip my wine. Like, nigga, okay, you got a dragon. That's cute. But literally, your brother has
But you
the
got a
biggest
little dragon. You
Your brother
have
has
a
the-
little dragon. Because
little-
all of y'all hatched your eggs in your crib, you have a dragon that's about 20 years old.
Yeah, you have a little dragon Don't know how fearsome you are in battle. We all know how fearsome Aemon is with the sword. He has the biggest dragon out of everybody in the goddamn family. So where do you get off saying that you just as fearsome? What are you talking about, nigga? Like, you and you shorter than your younger brother.
And you don't practice, and you don't work, you don't really do shit.
You don't do nothing. You got that dagger. You don't even know what that dagger's for. You got your daddy's dagger. You just playing with it. You don't even know its significance. You are just cosplaying as Aegon the Conqueror. Literally, you have his dagger, you have his armor, you have his crown, you have his name, but that is it. You do not, and I tried to give him credit in like the first episode when like people were coming to him, the small folk come to him like, hey, yeah, so your dragons ate a lot of my sheep. Can I get compensation for that? And he was trying, but he
doesn't keep track of the inventory. He also doesn't think, so he's just kind of like,
yeah, he wasn't informed.
Yeah,
he was just shooting from the hip. Like, I mean, I'm the king. I can make it happen. Yeah, let me just pull a couple more sheep out my ass. And granddad is like, nigga, if we give him sheep, we gotta get everybody sheep. Shut the fuck up. We not doing that. But he's definitely not garnering good faith with the people. You know, you killing all the rat catchers when you could have just had you could have rounded up all the rat catchers, and before you beat Blood's head in, had him identify who the other nigga was.
Right.
You could have just done that, but no. You flying off hat and Blood was ready to just spill the beans. Like, Larry didn't even finish pulling out his tool set before he's like, Damon told me to do it. Are you gonna hurt me? He's like, of course not. But the king, I don't know. I can't speak for him. Oh my god. And then, in the last episode, you got Bela. Poor Bela has been reduced to nanny. She been made the mammy because she ain't got a dragon.
Well, also she doesn't have a betrothed either.
Yeah, her betrothed.
Yeah, she kind of lost everything.
Yeah, she was already feeling away because she didn't have a dragon.
And so Aemon took the dragon that she thought she was gonna get.
Yeah, took her mama's dead dragon. Man, yeah, that was some bullshit.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, so I'm gonna need you to be the mother to my children, far, far away, back in the land where your mama killed herself at that. And also look over these dragons, because if anything happens here, you are our last hope. So, you know, the one consolation she gets is that one of those dragon eggs, should they hatch, it's yours. It's yours. You ain't gonna be able to do shit with it in this battle, though, because it's gonna be a fucking lizard, but
you'll get a dragon.
You'll have a dragon. Like, I'm not sure how long it takes for them to get big enough to ride. Like,
I don't know.
The time span in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon is, I don't know. You know, they don't ever give you like 5-year later type time skips. It's just next episode, and all we know, it could have been 5 years later.
We have different actors, and
you know, you gotta look at the youngest baby. Like, oh, the baby's walking now. Damn, it's been 3 years. But yeah, poor Bela. She's being sidelined. She gotta play mammy to her half brother nephews. Brother nephews? What are those niggas? Step
brother cousins?
Step brother cousins. Something. It's all kinds of messed up over there.
Yeah, that family tree too tangled and mangled for me.
Yeah,
gotta figure out who's who.
He's my stepbrother, but also my cousin. Ugh.
But also totally not related because he's a bastard. But
yeah, well, no, they still related by blood because her aunt is his mama.
Okay.
Well, that's with wait, it's Bela and who else? Bela. What's her sister with the dragon? Was Bela the one with the dragon?
I forget which one is which.
Either way, the other black one. There's one with locks and there's one with curls. The one with curls is engaged to Luke. I think Jace was the one that was killed. Yes. So either way, they still have a Targaryen relative. And they're like first, if not second cousins. So still gross. The only kids that ain't got no relation is Aemon and Aegon, or Aegon and Aemon, because they're Alicent and Viserys's kids. So they were born of non-incest. Oh, and Helena. Poor Helena. That poor girl. She just want to look at her bugs and sew, and she gotta be stuck with all this foolishness. Because even Rhaenyra was like, why the fuck would I do that to Helena of all people? She's like the one.
She's a nice one.
She's the one sibling I actually fuck with. She's a little weird, but that's it. She's just weird. She stay in her lane. She quiet. Poor Helena. Like, Helena just wanted to stay in her room and cry over her baby. They talk about, we gotta go do his funeral.
You gotta do a parade.
She's like, I don't want to.
Her mama could be like, oh, just shut the fuck up, suck it up, here we go.
Girl about to have a whole panic attack.
Yeah.
I don't want the pores touching me or looking at me.
It's a bunch of strangers. That whole scene was.
I was worried the baby's head was gonna fall off.
And then also, why are they talking about some? You know what? That they getting stuck in the mud. It's Rhaenyra's fault. Rhaenyra put a curse.
Oh god. I was so worried that baby's head was gonna fall off. Like those stitches weren't strong enough. Oh my god. They also showed how they did that too. That's actually a body double. They made a cast of the little boy.
Wow.
I know, so realistic looking. A lot of them were. Even the rat catchers that they were hanging. Yeah. That was a mix of live actors and body doubles that they made from body scans. They had like a whole rigging system set up. It was pretty cool. But anyway,
I like how the third episode ended with Rhaenyra pulling up Alicent in the scepter with a knife.
Talking about I started horribly. Yes, you did, bitch. How you want to talk when you pull a knife out? Talking about
because she needed the knife because Alicent was talking about like, well, what if I scream?
She's like, then
and if she hadn't had a knife, she would have been screaming.
She's like, okay, if they scream, then they'll probably lock me up or kill me, but not before I kill you first. But
now that that's all the way, now that we know ain't nobody gonna be screaming,
right? But it was kind of.
But I do love that Rhaenyra is finally pulled it out of Alicent. Like,
yeah, she just wanted to know what happened. Like, I think if anything, she wanted to hear that her dad said something.
You said that I'd make a good queen, and then you did all of this shit to put your son on the throne. Like, what the fuck?
So what's the truth?
Yeah. And then Alicent like revealing it, and Rhaenyra was like, he met Aegon the Conqueror, you dumb bitch.
Right. It's a whole story, you dumb bitch.
He's talking about some prophecy. This ain't had nothing to do with your son. It's a misunderstanding. All these people about to die. We all about to die in this war over a misunderstanding.
Because you don't know your family history.
Yeah, some misinterpreted words by my father who was on his way up out of here.
If nothing else, though, I hope this conversation instills some actual certainty in Rhaenyra on how to move, because she's been holding on to the hope that we can talk this out, we can just clear up the misunderstanding. It don't matter if the misunderstanding is cleared up. They're not going to admit, oops, my bad,
we misunderstood. They're not going to give back the throne now.
They're not giving it back. They're not admitting,
a child is dead. Oh, 2 children are dead.
2 children are dead. Not to mention all the small folk people who are out of sheep, out of money, out of fathers, brothers that were killed because of this whole debacle. No, there's no turning back. All you need to do now, Rhaenyra, is fight your ass off and get your seat back. Like, that, if nothing else, hearing that all this bullshit is because this bitch misinterpreted my dad's dead ramblings would make me even more pissed off
And
and be
Otto
like,
Hightower ain't even need a misunderstanding. He wanted to do the shit anyway. He just finally figured that, oh, finally she's on board.
because no one was even there to witness it. It was literally just her word against no one else. It's like, hey, daddy, he said Aegon in his sleep. I bet. Cool. There's no proof. He could have still said, I want my daughter on the throne in his last moments. And she still could have gone back to her daddy and said, yeah, he said he wanted Aegon. Because he did now, and can't nobody refute it. He can't even refute it. He did. But yeah, that would put a fire on him.
I don't even think he knew that he was talking to her. He probably thought he was talking to his daughter.
He probably did. Because
it's not like, so like they had all these kids and everything, but they weren't really in love.
They weren't. I don't even know that him and Allison even shared a bed outside of when they had sex. I think she had her own room most times.
Right.
He still cared for her to an extent, but I think he did love Rhaenyra more. That's his baby girl. That's his daughter. That's his one child that he actually had with his first wife, who he definitely loved. But yeah, hearing that Allison made that fucking mistake as Rhaenyra, I would have been like, I bet. And it's on. It's up and it's stuck. From then on, there's no more sense of like.
I can see why she was holding on though, because it's so stupid.
It is. It's stupid, but it's the cart's already down the hill. There's no going back. Again, 2 children are dead. 2 children are dead, and your dumbass brother is on the throne. He's not giving that up. He's already talking about people think. I don't want people thinking I'm weak. People already think you weak, nigga. This. No, he would absolutely not. Even if they do tell him it's a misunderstanding. Oh, did you see the preview for this episode coming up?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh my god, there's a scene that's gonna come up with Allison. She said something to Aegon, and he like refutes back, and she's like, "And what are you gonna do about it?" Like she says something essentially, I think, insulting him, and she's like, "And what you gonna do about it?" I'm like, "Ooh, okay, Allison. Oh, you just don't care no more, huh?" Yeah, but the battle's happening. I mean, we know it's gonna happen because it's the dance of the dragons. The thing for me, and I've kind of spoiled myself on this just in watching other lore breakdowns of the family tree and lineage. It's just, where does the Targaryen line take over after this war? You know, is it Aegon's line?
Oh, I don't know.
Rhaenyra's
Line? Don't tell me. Don't
exactly.
Tell me,
And listen, because all these names keep repeating any goddamn way.
Yeah.
I forget, because even Rhaenyra has an Aegon. Hers is Aegon the Younger.
Yeah.
So
everybody loves recycling names. That's another thing that
within the same fucking generation at that, which is fucking annoying. But yeah, so it's like, where does Game of Thrones 200 years later branch off from? Which side of the Targaryen line? Especially with like Daenerys, like, who is her ancestor?
It's her. Okay, so she's the daughter of the Mad King and also some Targaryen woman. So.
Right, but what line is the Mad King from?
I don't know. If we knew that, then we'd know who wins the conflict.
Exactly. So that's exactly. So while I know a lot of the Targaryens get taken out, and damn near all the dragons except for the 3 eggs that get absconded to Dorne.
Yeah.
It's like, where does the family line really die out? I think the Valerian line definitely dies out, because I don't remember hearing nothing about no damn Valerians in Game of Thrones. Definitely ain't seen many black, white-haired folks in Game of Thrones, so.
No, but if you go to Essos, so like I read the books, and if you're on Essos, there's like people all over the place that have like silver hair and purple eyes and shit.
Okay, so maybe Bela or whichever,
but they're
sisters
not doing well. Like, they're whores. Like,
yeah, they ain't got no more money, because that war.
Like Aegon is spreading Targaryen seed all over the place because he's.
Oh yeah, he got babies all in the fighting pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see where things go. I am waiting on bated breath for when Kristen Cole fucking dies. I'm waiting for it. I'm praying for it.
I don't even think his death is going to be that satisfactory because
Probably not. I just want him gone.
Because he's so stupid. He's so.
I just want him gone. I was cheering when old girl caught him with the dragon. Like, first of all, she got some good ass eyesight. She just saw a little bit of glint, and she dove down, and almost burnt him in the face.
As his man was saying, like, oh, it's cold back there. We're going to the inn.
We going to the Holiday Inn. Like, nigga, if you
And
get your ass back to
talking
camp.
about, like, we're exposed. Like, was it him? Was it him who said it? Or was it just my mom who, like, popped in and was like, exposed to what?
I think it might have been your mom, but
yeah. He's
Gwen was like, huh? Because I was looking at the sky too.
My
mom
like, pops in. She was like, exposed to what? And I was like, keep watching. And then she was like, oh, dragon. And then she was like, oh, some black folks.
I was looking at the sky. Look, I was looking in the sky too. Like, what they see? All I see is the sun, and that's hurting my eyes. What do you see?
My mom would pop in to be like, she's black. She was like, what's the name of this again?
Oh, black people? Let me sit down and see what they doing on this show. I kind of wish she burnt half the forest. You know, just to smoke them out. Just to smoke them out. She was right there. And then when she told him, she told the council, she was like, I didn't engage. Not exactly. Like,
well, Rhaenyra was questioning her, like, "Are you sure it was him?" She was like, "I got all up in my balls.
I saw him. I seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't engage, but I seen it.
Right.
Man, I'm waiting for this nigga to die. I kind of like Alicent's brother, just because he's real cheeky. He's like, So, you the one to replace my daddy, who been working here for 3 generations, huh?
Right.
Okay. Flocked.
Yeah. Oh, also Sir Kristen being like, I want, like, being all needy.
Can I have your favor? Can I have your favor in my heart?
Didn't you learn anything the first time you was a side piece?
Right. And why are you asking this in the courtyard in front of Laris? Laris was right there.
In the shadows.
Laris was right there watching you. Ask for her titty tissue.
So is everybody else.
Oh, God. Some niggas just don't know how to play their position. Can I have the queen's favor? Nigga.
No.
Laris is right there. Damn it.
Why Alicent acts so fucking annoyed. Like, oh, fine. Here.
Oh, but he eats pussy so good.
He does. Because he didn't even get nothing out of it.
He didn't. That's what I was shocked by. I was like, oh, that's like,
it.
Man.
Now put your armor on. We got to go to this meeting.
Clean yourself up. Now they got some weird dom thing going on. She slaps him around before they start fucking. It's like, God. I just want somebody to walk in on y'all. And not Helena in a panic.
Helena walked in on them and just acted like she ain't even see nothing. Cause
she probably didn't. She's traumatized. She just saw her baby get beheaded. And she goes to her mama's room like you do when you have a bad dream. And you just at the foot of your mama's bed.
Oh, hey, Sir Kristen, mama, my baby dead.
She didn't even say hi to him. She just came in and sat at the. I'm surprised she ain't crawled in bed with him. just climbed in.
But also,
Helena, what's wrong? They killed the boy. Not even my son. They killed the boy. If you had, and then when Aegon found out, where were you, Kristen? I was abed. Abed.
Abed.
My children. Abed. Yeah, you were abed, all right.
Your mama's bed.
Man, that like the security was trash. How do you not
There's
have
nobody. I love the way the camera was like, look how ain't nobody up in here.
nobody? Everybody, like even with Eric, when Kristen pulled up on him talking about where were you that night? Guarding
Where
the
were
king.
you? Yeah.
Because that's my job as a king's guard. I was guarding the king. Where were you, nigga? Oh, in the queen, what's it called? The Queen Reserve, whatever the fuck Allison's
The
called.
Queen's
She's not even important. You could kill her and the patriarchy stay as it is.
Oh yeah.
You need guards outside of the fucking baby room where the heir is, where the queen apparent is, or the queen reigning, whatever the fuck. She didn't even have her ladies in waiting with her.
Just her and her babies.
Just her and her babies. And then the audacity of Allison to try to talk to Helena about what she saw. Bitch, my baby is dead. I don't give a fuck about whose dick you were riding that night.
Wow.
Oh my god, I would be so pissed at my mom if she came at me trying to talk to me about whatever the fuck she was doing. And I don't care, mom, my baby's dead. And you making me go out and be around the pores. But she forgives her.
Yeah, well, the King's Landing pores are very scary. They're very scary. And superstitious.
And contagious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, my God. Smallpox and whatever other venereal diseases they might have. It's dangerous.
It does not. But
and why are they trying to touch me? They all reaching their hands out to me. What you touching
me for?
For?
Yeah. What's touching me gonna do for you?
Put your hands to use and get this wagon out this hole. Over here reaching out for me. I ain't got nothing for you. She dissociated most of the time.
Yeah, and nobody listens to her. Nobody listens to her.
I mean, to be fair,
Aegon talking about he got to take a 2-year-old to a meeting because he's gonna be king one day, and she was like, "Well, maybe not.
Like, maybe he don't want to.
Maybe he ain't gonna make it."
Also, he's 2. He needs his lessons. He don't know his ABCs. He don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. He over here trying to play with the giant marble on the table.
He just figured out walking.
The way it got pulled up into the nursery too, trying to find his son. It was like, wait, no, this is the girl. Where's the boy? You could at least say hi to your daughter. He ain't even like say like, hey baby. No. Where's the boy? I mean, that's got to be weird though. It's like, well, I mean, Aegon's weird himself, so I'm sure fucking his sister was like not really that weird to him.
They're Targaryens. They expect it. Like Daenerys in, like when you read Daenerys chapter in A Game of Thrones, she talks about like, oh, I'm marrying somebody else. I always thought I was gonna marry my brother. What the fuck? Okay.
So gross. They don't have whatever is installed in most of us that says that my relative is not attractive in that way. They look forward to it. Fucking Aegon done marry both his sisters.
They think, well, it's the only way to get dragons, so we have to reliably get dragons.
I mean, I don't know. It's just gross. And also, I don't know if you're aware, there's a game series called Elden Ring that George R.R. Martin has a part in writing.
Oh, okay.
And you can tell.
Oh no!
You can tell. There's one. Oh my god, there's 2 characters actually. There's one Queen Marika ends up marrying another consort. She's had at least 3 husbands at this point. Her last consort is herself somehow.
Oh, like, is it a clone? Because cloning...
No.
Okay.
This is like very fantasy like, but he's somehow her. They're like 2 spirits or some shit.
Okay.
So somehow she had a baby with the male version of herself and had twins at that. So her twins are essentially her, but the twins are cursed, whereas she had like a boy and a girl, and the boy is cursed to be forever young, so he looks like 8 or some shit. But
Oh.
he has the power to like enthrall people, or as they call it, steal people's hearts. So he can just put his will on anyone and they will do as he says, as like devoted follower type stuff. And he somehow enthralled his older half brother to steal him away to be his future consort. I'm like, weird. Only for, and this is spoilers for the DLC if anybody watching this is playing Elden Ring, but the older brother that he enthralled to steal him away so that he could get the older brother's blood that would get him into this other like parallel world that they live in, or not parallel world, but just a world hidden away from the other main world, used his blood to get into that and stole his brother's corpse. Once you as the player kills the older brother, steals the corpse so that he could put the soul of another brother into that body so that that brother's soul could be reborn and be his actual consort. Just your general George R.R. Martin foolishness.
Have you ever read or listened to any of George R.R. Martin's other works?
No.
Like, okay, so he has 2 big, huge volumes of sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to both of them.
Yeah.
As books on tape as I was twisting my hair. And there's a lot of recurring themes of like orgies, cloning, mind control, body control,
Incest.
Incest is a big one. A couple dragons pop up here and there. Yeah.
What is
and lots of bitterness towards women.
Oh yeah. I do not understand this man's obsession with incest.
I don't
Let alone romanticizing the incest. Like, it's never seen as like ill. They shouldn't do this, but this is just another addition to their character of being abhorred by the audience. Like, you should not like these people, you should not cheer for these people. On top of them being evil, they also indulge in incest. No, he tries to romanticize
Well, I think it might have to do with like our own like world history and how often like we had not just kings but god kings who believed that they were God, and because they are gods they therefore need to keep their bloodlines pure, and the only way to keep your bloodlines pure is to engage in incest.
I don't know how that's pure though.
It's pure because you don't know about science.
Yeah, and it's like it's
if I'm a god and the only other gods around are my family, everyone else is like a lower species. Like,
just make some fucking demigods, or just
no, we need the full power of the gods to rule the country.
Okay, but here's the thing too.
Think Egypt.
Okay, well I'm thinking Greek, okay, because Zeus was out here fucking anything with a hole, and
but he only married his sister. Like,
I know, but then you have other instances like Poseidon. Isn't one of his children just like sea foam and some shit?
Well, yeah, that's another thing, that when the gods have sex with like people who aren't gods, then like that, if gods have DNA, that DNA is very unstable.
Okay, but all
you don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know if you're gonna get a demigod, a full god, or sea foam, or that's
what I'm saying. Like
giants that try to overthrow the pantheon. Like
you fuck a human, you probably gonna get a demigod. But if you fuck like the elements of the world, you might actually get a full god. Because I think, was it Persephone? No, Persephone wasn't made from sea foam.
No, that's Aphrodite.
Yeah, Aphrodite. That's what I'm saying. Like, you made a god without having to fuck a human.
But he didn't. But that's because Zeus castrated his father and threw the genitals into the sea.
Either way,
And then
it
she
wasn't
popped
his
out of the
sister.
sea.
It wasn't his sister. A whole new god was created from god DNA with the elements of the world without having to fuck your sister or a human or a random duck. Like,
Yeah, but they weren't concerned about it. Like, they feel like this is efficient and they don't feel that it's wrong. Like,
I know. I'm just saying, like, you're saying, oh, we have to keep creating pure gods. You could have created a pure god without fucking your sister. That's all I'm saying.
but why would you?
Because it's
When
easier.
you can fuck your sister.
I need more people to start asking just because we can. Should
We're gonna. It doesn't
You-
matter.
we? Just
if we
because you
should
can
or
doesn't mean you
not.
should, man.
But we're gonna. Is just prepare for the fact that we're gonna.
I can't. Anyway.
Like, I'm like, it is a violation of international law to clone a human, and yet one of my, like, when people ask me, like, what's the craziest thing you believe, I confidently believe that somewhere humans are being cloned.
Oh, for sure. For sure. There's clones.
We
believe
shouldn't, but we're doing it.
I'm pretty sure Japan is building a Gundam,
Hmm.
and they're just lying in wait. And I wouldn't even be mad. I'm like, oh shit, they actually got a Gundam. They warned us. They've been telling us since the 80s. Giant robots, they coming.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool though. I'm not gonna lie. If we had Gundams, I might enlist in the army. Just to pilot a mobile suit, that'd be fucking awesome. Horrible way to die though, probably. Me encrusting all that metal and shit. Yeah.
Like tuna in a can.
Yeah. And then it also depends on like what's the operating system for the mobile suit. Are we talking sitting down, joystick controls, or full body VR type shit?
Probably
or...
telepathy, Neuralink.
Yeah, Neuralink was that was what they used in Iron-Blooded Orphans. But it was like through your spine, and they had blockers so that you wouldn't like fuck yourself up. But if you were crazy enough, you could bypass the blockers and you would just you fuck yourself up. Like literally, one dude, he bypassed the limiters on his machine, and like during the battle he was able to like increase the speed and all that kind of stuff. But once he powered down, the whole like left side of his body was paralyzed. And the only time he had full functionality of his body is when he was hooked up to the system.
Damn.
Which was wild because apparently he fucked his girlfriend in the Gundam because otherwise he couldn't move. That was wild. Iron-Blooded Orphans is a wild story. We talking, not only are we talking mercenaries, we're talking child soldier mercenaries. Child soldier mercenaries and teen pregnancy in a Gundam series. It was awesome. It was great. Loved it. You didn't actually see the kids fuck, but it was implied. That girl had been begging for a baby. I'm like, girl, you look like a baby. You are like 12. Anyway, highly recommend it. It's very sad in the second season, but I think if you like Attack on Titan, I think you'll like Gundam in general. Like if you like anything that has like political aspects to it, I think you'll like the Gundam series. Iron-Blooded Orphans for me had just a little bit more humanity to it because we were looking at like a small fraction or a small faction that was involving children who just
I don't know
freedom.
the way that Attack on Titan ended. If any, like, tell me in advance if anybody's going to turn into a giant cockroach and then time travel and do some time travel.
There's
shit.
no time travel.
That's another like Game of Thrones or George R. R. Martin thing.
Yeah.
The time shit. The going back in time.
Mm.
Oh, and also surveillance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Observing shit from
those
the
those
past.
were trees in Game of Thrones. Like
Yeah.
when you read the books, it's very obvious that those are there for surveillance reasons. Like those are a surveillance system, and the children of the
Also,
forest are.
warging.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, warging is another one. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's another that's the body control, like remotely controlling someone else's body. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's a thing.
I really do hope that at some point they explain what the fuck is up with the children of the forest, because they introduced them in episode 1 of Game of Thrones and we never saw them bitches again.
They're in the books. They're in the books doing shit.
I want them in the show. I'm not reading the books.
Okay, well, they're in the books, and it's implied that perhaps Missandei is also like part, or maybe half, Children of the Forest, just from the way that she's described.
There's
Um,
also a character that may or may not be introduced in Hot D, Nettles, that I've heard about. It's rumored that she might have been a child of the forest as well.
yeah, Nettles was one of the rare people who is not a Targaryen who can somehow ride a dragon.
A dragon
Yeah.
seed or something. I've heard rumors of her. People are like really like, yo, they better put Nettles in the show. She's one of the best characters in the books.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Tonight we get another episode of Hot D.
Yeah.
In about what, 2 hours or maybe an hour? I think it's what,
1
9
hour. 1 hour. I think it's
9
8
p.m.
o'clock.
Eastern. Yeah, I can't watch it till 10 because Blurred Dot Radio is up next.
Yay.
7:30 Central. I got it right this time. So, with that being said, we're going to wrap it up.
All right.
I've been Ash.
And I'm Fatima.
And this has been
Fatash.
Fatash.
Bye.
Bye.